Okay. Phones are off. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Awesome. Are y'all excited? What are we going to talk about today? What is this? Wait. You know how it's backwards? I can't get with that.
Yeah, left is right and
Yeah,
right is left.
same. I'm like,
Today we're going to talk about is it love or the way women are portrayed? We talk about
I think it's the way women are portrayed because last time we did love. Did we? Yeah,
yeah,
last time we did love.
black love. So this time we're going to be talking about black women in television and media and how they're portrayed. And do we have a good amount of people to choose from? I would say usually if there's a man, there's a woman, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Where would we want to start?
Mm, I feel like, uh, are we like? I don't know. I feel like sometimes in different, it just depends on what you go to for what you're going to get when it comes to the portrayal of black women, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah, I know for sure. Lately, like in my adulthood, I really enjoy seeing uplifting just production things in general, whether it's a movie or if it's a show or if it's a podcast. I want things that are going to add to me in my everyday life. If I'm going to invest in it, I need it to not just be solely escapism. I need something that's going to motivate me or inspire me or help me think differently. So, like, that's something that I really appreciate. And of course, me being the nerd that I am, I was doing some research, right? On just like what happened to our black shows. What happened, what it was the CW and my notes aren't in front of me. Is it UPN? Is
Yeah,
that what
you
Yeah.
can. And
and
then
what was the other one? It was three. Because UPN and another one made the CW. Um crap, I don't have my notes in front of me. But basically what this article I was reading and this video I was watching was basically saying that mainstream media, they like to get their jump off of black media, right? They use the black audience and the black dollar, and then they switch to predominantly white. And the decline happened around 2007, 2010, and we don't have anything. And now we have the insecures and the powers and the black ish series. So in terms of me being in power and me really seeing reflections of myself on television, in terms of being a woman, that's all I've seen. Have y'all seen any shows that you really see a black woman? And you know what? Before you answer that, we forgot about this whole new is it Raising Dion? Have y'all
Yeah,
seen?
I've heard about it, but I haven't
I've
seen it.
heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yes, you have to see Raising Dion. Um, and there was another black show that I forgot that I'm like, we need to add this to the list. But ultimately, I guess we can start with, for me, and what started my whole journey with this podcast was How to Get Away with Murder. And seeing such a strong black lead and that mother syndrome, I call it, where you have to save everybody and nestle and protect. And essentially, a lot of people blamed her, even though she never committed a crime. Have y'all seen How to Get Away with Murder?
I watched like a season or two, but I didn't finish it.
So I really enjoyed watching it just because I like murder mystery. I grew up reading Nancy Drew, but I also really enjoy seeing black women on screen. Like Olivia Pope,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, and I really don't think we have a replacement for that just yet. Have y'all seen the new show Gabrielle Union starring in? Let me see if I can look it up.
Oh, that's the one with
LA
Gabrielle Union
Spanner.
and Jessica Alba.
Yeah, LA's finest.
What is it called?
LA's finest.
Oh yes, I haven't seen that, and I'm saying maybe that can be a good replacement for it. But I would like to start with Insecure. Gary, you haven't seen it yet, have you?
I've seen probably like 2 episodes of Insecure. I have to try to go back and revisit it because actually talking to the both of you kind of made me just reassess how I was looking at Issa Rae because I every time I saw her, she was just so awkward, and I just
Yeah,
it was hard to get over that. And then talking to the both of you, you were like, "Well, that's her thing. She's awkward." So
yeah,
now that I know that it's just her, maybe I can probably embrace it more. But
yeah.
I'll give it a shot and try to look at it with a reframed perspective.
Sure. So I'll use Insecure as my example
Mhm.
for this. And then I'll ask y'all, what do y'all think about? Just pick any lead or any character that you want to pick apart. And then I would like to contrast Molly versus Issa, right? So people listening, if you watch Insecure and you're a fan, I feel like they're both Black women and they are from Africa. But both of their parents are, but they're like in America, living American lives, right? So I think that it's very good to see the contrast how Molly is professional and more polished, and Issa is more earthy and more like chill. So I identify with both women and I enjoy watching their dynamic together because I feel like both women could live inside me, and at different whatever hat I'm wearing at the time, I could be Issa or I can be Molly. So professionally, I've been in corporate where I have to wear heels every day, and I'm in my skirt and my Spanx, and like Bob and like this. There was a time I wouldn't step into a meeting like this, but so the Issa in me allows me to do that, be myself, my authentic self, and show up as I am. So I really enjoy watching Insecure because it's refreshing to see a professional woman and then a woman trying to figure herself out and explore things like sex and explore the relationships and dynamics with your friend when one friend's doing better than you. So I think that it's refreshing to see both sides of the fence. Molly sometimes has to pick up the check because Issa never has the money, so stuff like that. Like, so we're not stuck with one stereotype of what a Black female looks like. Sometimes Molly she gets upset and may want to argue. Sometimes Issa's like the voice of reason and vice versa. So I find Insecure refreshing because it addresses out loud some of the stereotypes that women face, being angry, being ghetto, being over sexualized, not being educated. And it's also refreshing to see Molly date outside her race because she dates an Asian. So, like, I feel like Insecure is pouring all of these things that being a Black woman in America what we're hit with daily. So that's why I picked that as my example of Black women. And I would love for us to kind of dissect what we would like to see more as a Black woman portrayed on screen from a man's point of view. Like, Gary, you know, as someone on screen, what do you find attractive? Like, what is the type of woman you find attractive? And do you see her portrayed on screen? Why or why not?
I would say probably like thinking about it. I was just going back and forth, and I thought about Zazie Beetz' character on Atlanta,
Mhm.
Hmm.
just for just because of the authenticity, not only of the show, but of her character, because she goes through, as
Oh,
I can only imagine a woman would go through the ups and downs of being in a relationship and what comes with that, and working but still trying to be cool and raising a child. So I just think just the earthiness of that character is something that is really good. And I'm of the belief that I just think that we should have all types of characters. Like, of course, for you, you want them to be uplifting, but I think for me, as long as it's not peddling on the caricature side and so over the top, then black women should be able to play whatever characters they want, especially if they're rooted in some type of experience. Because again, no experience that we have is one lane. So we might have met somebody who we've worked with that was just absolutely a prick to deal with, and it just so happens that they were black, but they
Yeah.
fall into the category of an angry black woman, which is a lot of times what people like will label women when they're being assertive. But I think there's definitely a difference, because there's nothing wrong with women, especially black women, being assertive. And I think for some men, that's a hard pill to swallow with the assertiveness of it. But as a man, I don't feel intimidated by women that are strong or assertive, because I too have a strong personality. So when I meet someone like that, I'm fine with it. I don't go like, oh, I have to shrink and pop my head in the shell because of that. And I also don't think that when I'm watching it on TV. I just think that a woman should be as strong as she wants to be, as vulnerable as she wants to be, and that those are some of the characters that really should be explored. And I think probably coming out of this whole pandemic situation, I think we might get back to a lot of earthiness. And when I say earthy, I mean just the authenticity of some of the black experience. I'm not talking about, power to the people, all of that like every day, but more so of things that you would come in contact with, and genuine characters that you can identify with. Because ultimately that's what I would like to see, because that helps you connect, whether it be your sister, your aunt, a friend, a coworker, a supervisor, somebody you just had a random conversation with. Those are the type of characters that I feel should be on television, whatever platform it is, whether it's cable or streaming. And for me, that's why I just like the authenticity, and whatever that means. It could mean somebody being just like you, like, oh my gosh, I hope I never run into her because of like how she acts or how she treats people. Or it
Yeah.
could be like, or it could be, man, she seems really cool. Like I think her character, I think I would have a enjoyable conversation hanging out with that character. So
Hmm.
that's what I would like to see going forward. Because unlike you, I don't watch anything for the uplifting aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's nothing wrong with it, because there are people that want to see something. So I want to see more achievement from characters. I want to see them going out there and being CEOs and being heads of companies, but also at the same time having a soft side too, because everybody does have a soft side, and you can't be in CEO mode all the time. So I definitely would like to see a lot more achievement from black female characters. And I don't think that there's anything to be apologetic about, because it can happen, it will happen. So we just need to see it. So as we say here, when you see it, you can be it.
That's true. Well, Shanique, have you seen Atlanta?
Yes.
And I can't believe I haven't been talking about Atlanta more, because I'm obsessed with it. And is there anything you want to piggyback on what Gary said about I have her name pull up,
Zazzy Beats.
Zazie Beats. I didn't even know that was her name, but when I saw her picture, I was like, yeah, I know who that
That's
is.
you like. That's a.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen her in a few movies too.
She was in Deadpool too.
Yeah, and that yeah, where her power was lucky, where she was lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think, Shanique?
I definitely like her character on Atlanta, because it's very real. One episode that like I love is the Drake episode, because I love Drake.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't feel like a crazy person, because this is how I feel about Drake too. Um, when they were in the house, like from them eating the edibles with the friends, like all of that. Like I just thought it, like her character, like you said, had a rawness to her. She was very real, very authentic. And those are the type of characters that I'm drawn most to. So I like Issa on Insecure because from following her over these years, it's literally like she's just playing herself. Um, so the authenticity there. And then I also like Beth from This Is Us.
Yeah.
Because she's
Oh
very,
yeah.
I mean, like it's just like the way that she just, from her family dynamic to her relationship dynamic to how she's a mother, I just think that that is so real, you know. Um, just trying to support her husband, help Randall through things, but it's just, I don't know, like she's like one of my, if I had to choose like a top 3, she would be my number 1 because I cry, that show makes me cry like all the time. But like especially like her character. And one thing for me that was like really, really cool was her connection to Randall's dad. And like afterwards, like that grieving process, it was so authentic. It was so, you're trying to move on with life, but grief like catches up to you. So I really like the way that show is written, and they actually have a lot of Black writers on the show, which you can really, really tell from the Black family, because it just, everything just makes sense. I'm just like, there's no way. I think that's what I was watching one time, and I was like, there's no way a white person wrote that. And so I literally started looking up like characters, and one, Jasmine Waters, like she just passed over during this quarantine.
I saw
But
that article. Mm-hmm.
yeah, rest in peace to her. But she's a prolific writer, and the way she contributed to that show. I wish that more people like could have given her flowers while she was here.
Yes. And I'm trying to like simmer down my comments because my brain is like going 100 miles an hour. But like, it's so much to unpack when we're talking about Black women, right? And there's so many questions that I have for you, and I want to explore myself. So if I get off track, bring me back around. But like, for example, All American. Have y'all seen All American?
Oh yeah,
Gary,
yeah.
have you seen it? No. Oh my goodness. So basically, it's
Is
based.
this wait? Is this about? Is that with Tay Diggs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a couple
Okay.
episodes of that.
So at
Yes.
first I'm like, this is super corny. I wasn't feeling it at first, but I checked myself and I got back into it, right? So I bring up All American because a few things that I want us to explore. We brought up the complexion thing and colorism, and there's body image issues, and there's also the whole Black magic issue, Black girl magic, and then there's also the strong Black woman thing, right? So I brought up All American because um, the main character, his mom is of a darker complexion, right? But they also have the lead high school students, but they're fairer complexion. But outside of the complexion thing, I like the dynamic of the characters in their terms of how they think, even though they're well off and they're a little bit richer, not like middle class. I like the dynamic how, and I don't know their names. I should. One character is very academic. She's in student council,
Yeah,
and
Layla.
and then the other character, she's just more like an average student. There's nothing that she excels at. But there's nothing she really doesn't. But they explore that as well because aren't they twins? Um,
Yeah,
and
her and her brother.
yeah, she feels shadowed by her brother, who is an athlete, a big star. So I bring up All America just to talk about how I think that although a lot of people can't relate to their lifestyle and their wealth, that they do a better job at showing the complexity and that the diversity of Black females or Black women. Um, and they do it very subtly, where it's not completely overwhelming. They talk about Black women who are lesbians, and they talk about a Black woman who raps, so it explores how Black women were artists, how we just makes us human, in my opinion. And that's something that I really would like to see explored a little more, because the issue that I've had in the past, and I think I've spoken on this periodically before, is that I'll tell you an example. The Princess and the Frog. I was so happy to have a Black princess, right? But something that really got under my skin is that it was based in the South, and then the presence of the witchcraft. And this isn't my Christianity speaking. It's just that, can we not have something dated back it was dated in the past, right? Like, we're in the early 2000s. Can we have something that's uplifting? Like, they won't give us any representation unless it's slavery, or if it's in a place from suppression. Like, it really hurt my feelings. That, have y'all seen Princess and the Frog? You probably didn't have a reason to.
Yeah. I saw Princess and the Frog, and I was gonna say, with the witchcraft aspect element, I thought that it was necessary because it was based in NOLA, like in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I thought it kind of spoke to the culture.
Mhm.
I didn't like the fact that she was a frog the whole movie. I was like, we get a Black princess and she a frog the whole movie. Like, wow, like, what is
Yeah.
this?
I mean, I get the witchcraft part for the movie, right? But I'm just saying, I want to see Black people in a lead where we're not with those checking those boxes. Or is it a slave movie? Is it an old Southern church movie? Is it something about a dirt road riding horses? And for me, it checked all those boxes. Like, what's something new and modern where a Black woman wins? Like, if you really think about it, her saving grace was her white friend. If you really think about it, in more spaces than none, her saving grace. Like, why did she save for all these years to open her restaurant, for it to be taken away by a white person? Just took it from her under her nose. And then I can't articulate what I'm trying to say exactly. It's just that.
But Izzy, if you, with the whole witchcraft thing,
Mhm.
why do you feel like it checked a box as opposed to, because sometimes I feel like if they're trying to check a box, it's forced. So if sometimes, like, you'll have a TV show and then it'll be like, okay, we have the straight person who is kind of like smart, then we'll have the homosexual, and then that checks that box, and then we'll have the Black person that checks that box. I think that when things are woven together, like, for me, it doesn't feel like it checks a box. So I want to know why you felt the witchcraft checked the box for Princess and the Frog.
I feel that, why can't we have a princess movie that isn't one of those things? So, yes, in the past, there was always a witch for like Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel. Well, there was a curse. Like, there's always that element, right?
Mhm.
But why is it that because she was a Black princess, she has to be in New Orleans? Why couldn't she been a Black princess from a city or another country? Like, why does Black mean this? And for me, typically, I feel like Hollywood, Black witchcraft. Like, I love sci-fi, and I don't see Black people in sci-fi. But when I do, voodoo. That's the only time we see it. So that's what I mean.
I thought you were going to say they die.
Oh, well, that too. But, like, I really don't see Black casts build around sci-fi movies, whether it's alien, futuristic, any of that. But if I do see a Black movie, and it may not be a mainstream, it may be like a D-list movie or something like that, or like a film festival type movie, it's still voodoo is the glue that holds it together. So what I'm saying is, I feel like we're putting ourselves in this box, or mainstream media is putting us in this box where if it's Black, it's voodoo. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, why can't we have something else where Black people are represented that doesn't check one of those boxes? And this is my personal list. Like, is it in the South? What are we talking about? Is it in the past? And is it about slavery? And is it about black magic? Like for me, I feel like there are very few things that we have as black people that fall outside of those boxes. And this is just a personal analysis that I have. I could be completely wrong with my assessment, but this is just me like reverse engineering. Like, what do we have? What is um, the variety we have to choose from? And that's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, and basketball or a football movie. Like that's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really agree, only because I feel like uh when you think about that authenticity element of it, if it is a black person that wrote it and they are like spiritual, and they have that spirituality about them, is often like frowned upon, like as if it's like witchcraft or as if it's evil and X, Y, and Z, when a lot of that is who we are. Like, for example, if with Black is King, a lot of people on social media quickly jumped and said that Beyonce was dabbling into devilish stuff. And I'm just like, that, like, I know, I feel like I have a sense of how we got to that type of thinking, but I just don't. I think sometimes that spirituality aspect, if they're going to touch on spirituality within the movie or the television show, then black magic in some sort would be a part of that, if they're going to touch on that. But I mean, I totally get what you mean by like leaving it out and um having like a different element. When I think of my favorite black princess, I think about Brandy as Cinderella. I think a lot of times, like I think a lot of people forget about. I don't want to necessarily say forget about that
No,
movie, but
you're right. They forget about it. Like it's
like,
a
I
lot of
don't
times, a lot of times it's left off the table.
yeah, and I'm just like, wow, here we had this, like we had.
That was a moment.
Yeah, it was like an array like of everything. She didn't have a basic prince that she was going after. Everything was like different. The fairy was Whitney. Like, I mean, the fairy godmother, you had Whitney Houston as the fairy godmother, but I think like that's something to like highlight and say, do I believe that we need more of it? Yes, but I think a lot of times people, like you said, leave that off the table, where that was like for my childhood. I was like, oh my gosh, I can be Cinderella because Brandy's dark skin like me. Um, I don't know. That was like a moment for me.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying, but not to discount it, but Brandy remade something that was already
Yeah.
predominantly white. Like, can we have a fresh story? And I get what you're saying. I don't know much about African culture in all the different countries, right? But when you look at pictures and we do research, the painting and the artwork and the tattoos, depending on the tribe, all that's part of it. And I'm not saying discount that, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for Americans and the movies that I've seen, they only put us in these boxes and we aren't allowed to be more. Like, can we have more? And I think Black Panther was the first of that, even though Wakanda was an African country, but it still had that diversity and the technology. Like, why can't we have a Black futuristic movie or a Black Terminator based music? Like, where are those? That's all I'm saying in
But
terms
I
of
but
those
I think
boxes.
but I think with that, that's up to, it's twofold. It's up to the writers to want to make those type of stories, and then it's also up to the producers, and I'll say Hollywood, just to put the other side of that, to also make those movies. So for the longest time, like you said, Black Panther, it was whisperings and murmurs is like, oh my gosh, I don't like a black superhero that's never going to make any money. And Black Panther blew that out of the water. So now it always takes that first one to break that ceiling and open up the door for others to do some other things as well. And I think we will see other films like that. Like you said, you want to see a black futuristic film, and I want to see one too. But also, for me, I just like good films. Like I want them. I want to see, of course, good black films as well. But if it's a black film and it's bad, it's a bad film. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna shoot them any bail or let them off the hook or grading on the curve, because that's one of the things. That's one of the issues that I had with Black Panther. Like I think that, not I think, I know that it was being graded on a curve,
Mm.
because on one hand, I realized the cultural significance of Black Panther. That it broke barriers, it broke records, financial and otherwise. And then you have the actual movie aspect of it. It still was a great, solid movie. But when I was hearing people say that this was the best, one of the best movie of all times, I have an issue with that, because they were grading on a curve. They were lumping the cultural aspect of it with the actual movie, the filmmaking of it. And for that, I think that we needed to separate those. And when I have those conversations, people kind of look at me like kind of side eye, and it's fine. Like I'll take it and I'll have the conversation. But I think with that, we have to, one, make those movies and make good movies, make good, solid movies that will be successful. And then also on top of that, every time people talk about they want new this, they want new that, but when something new comes out and people don't go see it, that's
They
what they
don't.
don't understand. Right. They're voting with their money. And when you don't go see something, you're voting no. So if somebody goes out on a limb and says, like, hey, just for like to piggyback over what you said, Izzy, they want to make a Terminator film and it just happens to be a black Terminator film. If nobody goes to see that and the studio takes a loss, then somebody else is not going to want to jump out on a limb and make that movie. So it takes, number one, the content has to be well written, and two, it has to be well produced. And I think there is enough space to make that. And in that, we can have those different strong female characters, and but we have to go out there and see it. And we have to, and they have to just make sure it's good content, because that's how those things are going to get made, and that's how we're going to continue to keep breaking through and changing and shifting the paradigm.
I totally agree, but I just want to go on record that I don't look at it as an excuse. And this is why, because I totally hear what you're saying, but in order, it's like running a race and catching up. So the formula of making a movie and writing a script, that's down pat for mainstream, right? So no, we shouldn't grade on a curve. And this could be a whole separate episode in itself, about the expectations and the quality for black production, whether it's music, whether it's independent labels or movie production, podcast, whatever, right? But my whole premise is, and y'all may not agree because this is such a deep level, it has so many levels, I mean, layers like an onion. We essentially, in my opinion, start the race back. So the formula is executed and perfected for mainstream. We need time to find that secret sauce for having the black leads, the black characters, the black content. We haven't had the time to play with it. And we need to give ourselves some grace and give ourselves and have compassion, because we need to go in the lab and cook some stuff up and come up with like 5 or 6 generations of stuff. But we haven't had that. So when we do come and present something, you want to compare it to a studio that's been around for 80 years to us from a studio that's only been around for 5 or 6, with different resources and different ability. Like, resources mean you can recruit the top talent. Resources mean you can have the best editors, the best cameras, the best set locations, so it's not comparing apples to apples. That's all I'm saying. But then at the same time, I do agree that us as a community, we got to step up and show that we are going to support it. So it goes like burn the candle on both ends. We got to meet in the middle. I totally agree about that. But go ahead.
I wanted to jump in and say, I don't know, you guys know Reagan Gomez.
No, I'm
She played Zara, what was her name on uh, hold on. Reagan Gomez. She played
yeah.
in yeah. So what was her main character in the show was like in the early 90s, the sitcom.
You're
Um
breaking up. Parents something.
the
Parenthood.
Parenthood. She
I
was
think
the
that's 40. Wow, she looks great.
yeah, she was the lead in Parenthood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I had a chance to interview her back in February, and she has a whole, she's like you, Izzy, with the sci-fi, and she has a whole web series that she wrote, directed, and produced. It's called Surviving,
Hmm.
and it's about the zombie apocalypse. And all of the main characters are people of color. It has two sisters that like embark on a journey to find their missing father and survive a world that's gone mad. But she said the same thing, and like, you know, so that's an example of a web series out there that like people might not really know about or support, but it's on YouTube for that sci-fi element, seeing more Black characters in the sci-fi
I
space.
love that. I'm pulling that up now
Yeah,
so I can watch it later.
yeah, Izzy, I disagree with you on that because I feel like for me, because I've watched so many movies. Like last year I saw 250 movies in the theater.
Mm.
So I know what a good movie is. And I've seen not just big studio releases, I've seen independents, I've seen all of them. So for me, a good movie is a good movie regardless of what's going on. And I'll take a really good example for me because it just popped in my head was Hollywood Shuffle. And this was produced by it was written, directed, and produced by Robert Townsend, and it was solely independent, and he financed the whole movie on his credit card. And you could tell that it was independent, but it was so good. So it really didn't matter how much money he had, it just was the content. And I'm of the belief that when the writing and the acting is solidified, even if it looks like you shot it on an iPhone, like good is good. So for me, it's all about the content, and I disagree with you on that point, and I do agree with you on the fact that we're behind. But I also think that just in life in general, especially with movies, we have to get to a point where we go, okay, this is where we're starting. It's not ideal, but I'm going to make the best possible product I can make. It doesn't matter what's going on, but I'm going to dedicate myself to making quality content. And I think when you come at it from that standpoint, then doors start to open up. Because again, like I'll say, a good script is a good script. It doesn't matter like what's going on. So from that standpoint, like I want just like black people, yes, we understand and where we're at and we're light years behind and we're running that race and we're trying to catch up. But I still think we have that content and we can tell those stories and stay true to ourselves and make really, really good content, whether it be TV, whether it be a digital series, whether it be movies. So just focus on the content aspect of it because I also think sometimes we feel like it has to be absolutely perfect, and it doesn't. It just has to be. You just have to give a good product. Like if it's a good service, it's a good service. If it's good customer service, it's good customer service. So I just think that that's a really good mentality to have.
I could appreciate your standpoint, but I think that we're looking at it from two different vantage points. And then I'll leave it alone after that because our opinions are opinions, but I think it's important to realize that good content, yes, great. Yes, we want good content, but can you define good and how do I get good? So, like how I say you can't be what you can't see, I have this little boy or girl that's somewhere in this remote country, no internet, no nothing, right? They write their first screenplay or what they think it will be. They don't have mentors and researcher access. Like, where do you measure that against? Or this person in America who sees a television show and they just say, I'm gonna write a play. Do you pick that play up and say, oh, this isn't good? Like, is that relative? Like, good compared to what? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's growth. So you pick up a painting from a 5-year-old, what makes it good? Compared to they keep painting, they keep practicing, and they're 12. One's going to be better than the other. So maybe I'm not expressing myself correctly, but I'm just saying that getting to the point of good takes practice. And before we can get to good, you got to have a trial and error. So I'll briefly give you an example. I was in corporate America, right? And I just have to leave the conversation because we're here at a Fortune 500 company and we're having the discussion about hiring more diversity and Black talent. And someone turned to me, a person of color, and they said, well, Black applicants aren't as qualified. And they think that's the end of the discussion when I'm like, no, my point is that's the beginning of the discussion. Me and Sally, who's white, we graduate the same day. Same program, same internship, right? We apply for the same job. Sally gets it and I don't. I go and work at Starbucks for 2 years, applying. Sally's climbing the ladder. We're the same on paper, same grades, same college, same internship, same program, but she got hired. It's America. She's white. I'm Black. Duh, right? I'm in Starbucks for 2 years. That right there is saying, oh, you're equal. You both had the same opportunities. No, Sally had a leg up. So my career is now delayed a little and I'm behind in the race. So I apply that to the creative space for Blacks. We want to make good stuff and we want it to be great, but the access and the opportunities aren't the same. So my good isn't her good. Does that make sense, Gary? Or am I just off left field?
No, go ahead, Shanique. I'll say mine.
I was just gonna say, no, I forgot what I was gonna say. I want to I don't know because I feel like we're not where we were, like 5 or 10 years ago. So it's like, okay, like we've come such a long way, and are we gonna like discredit how far we've come? Like as far as like film, television, like look at, again, we were talking about Insecure. Issa Rae went from YouTube to HBO and beyond. But I think that there are more Black writers in different spaces, more Black actors and actresses. So I don't know. I like, while I want to so much more, I don't want that to blind what is happening, because I think that we're in sort of a renaissance moment. You know what I mean? So to say that it's not changing at all is kind of like a neglecting, so to speak, what is like I mentioned with This Is Us. It's this white family and this, that, and the third, and it has different elements, but they have Black writers, and you can look it up. They actually have their Black writers. They have their own separate Twitter, where they tweet about different things about the show. So it's like, while I want to see more, we do have it, and it's like I also cherish and appreciate what we do have while still wanting to see more, because I don't want to get so focused on what we don't have that when things are happening, those get pushed aside, because it's not like it's not happening. Like I feel like we have grown so much from when I was a little girl looking at TV versus what I see my goddaughter or my little cousin see on TV. I'm like, wow, like I don't know, like, so that's why a lot of times I try not to get caught up in some of like for example, I love the show Euphoria, right, with Zendaya. And she just won an Oscar, right? And my bad. And then
You just giving her everything.
yeah, I was giving her everything. She just
She
won an
deserves
Emmy.
it.
And so she deserves that Emmy, right? But at the same time, I see so many people talking about the fact that there aren't any dark-skinned women on the show. And I'm like, dang, y'all are taking away from her moment. Like, because she played the hell out of that role. Like, give her her thing. She did that shit. Like, she did such an amazing job. So it's just like, I don't know, because I think that I don't get so caught up in because I know who I am and I love who I like. I don't know. I
No,
think
you.
it's like I can keep going. I can keep going about it, but I try not to get I try not to get focused on I feel like sometimes the quote unquote wrong thing because I think it's cool. Like I like All American as well. I'll tell you guys now, I am a sucker for I love seeing teenagers do things on like I just love coming of age movies and TV shows. So I was like, dang, like here Zendaya won this Emmy. She went from Disney to this so beautifully, so gracefully, and we're gonna talk about what's not on the show. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that we can appreciate what we have and still want more. And that doesn't make you greedy, but that appreciation has to be there. And for me to say good, I should have said entertaining because I feel like everything has its space,
Yeah.
but everything isn't always entertaining. So if somebody, like you said, is in a third world country and they're writing and it's just not entertaining, it's just not entertaining. And it just so happens that it comes from a third world country. Now, I do want people to have access and to have opportunities so that we are able to be in those rooms and to be in those circles so that we can up our game. Because I know since the pandemic started, there have been group started. I know I'm in one. It's called Hollywood Here, and their goal is to raise the percentage of minorities, especially Black people, within the entertainment industry. So they've been doing all sorts of really great things, meet and greets with showrunners and network executives and things like that. So that's getting exposure to people. So that's definitely a piece that needs to be there. But what I don't want us to do is we can appreciate, like I've changed my perspective as well. I can appreciate someone that's Black that has released something because I'm about to tell y'all the most ratchetest, and I know that ain't even a word, the most ratchetest television show I've ever seen in my life. It's called the Side Chicks of it's the Side Chicks of Charlotte.
Oh wow.
And so it's on Amazon Prime, and so I watched it and I was just like, what am I watching? But when I thought about it, I was like, as terrible as this is, these are like some Black people that put something together, invested their time, and got it on the platform. Now it's horrible, but it's an achievement. And I think that again, we can live in those two spaces of saying like, yes, this wasn't the entertainment that I like, but this is still an achievement, and we can still keep pushing forward, and we can still keep going, and we can keep busting through the doors and getting in rooms and opening that conversation and keeping it going.
I think
Yeah,
we could
'cause I'm
all
with
agree
you,
on that.
Izzy. Yeah, because I'm with you. I'm with you with wanting more. It's so much
Yeah.
more we can do. I'm definitely with you there. Like I feel like we can if to have the right people in the right places, we can have so much Black content that is just so different because again, like we said before, we're all so different. Um,
Yeah.
so
No, and I think that's important. I think we all can agree on that, is that we can all appreciate it, right? And we can all, but I think the main thing that I'm trying to express is we need to be gentle and have compassion and just be supportive overall. open to feedback. If I make something and it's not entertaining and it's not fulfilling its purpose, which I said it was there to do, let me hear that from my community and let me make the adjustments, So let's do that, as well as just having the freedom to make mistakes. And if I make something and I cast all fairer skinned people or I cast all darker skinned people, let's not rip it apart. Let's just celebrate this moment and move forward and work towards inclusive. Why can't I say that word? Being inclusive, because Black comes in all shades or all textures. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a movie and she only has braids, like, why can't we represent the girls with the lace fronts? Like, are we really having this conversation? Can we enjoy the artwork that was created? Because we come in so many shades, so many types, so many personalities. It very well could be impossible to represent all of us at one time. So we do need to acknowledge that. But I think something that I got off on a tangent and not really address is that we want to talk about just women in general and how we're portrayed, right? And what we see in terms of the type of women, the personalities, and the lifestyle. So, I guess not to be too long-winded because we're at like 50 minutes now, just what is something that we want to see portrayed in terms of a woman, and what is something that you're tired of seeing in terms of a woman? Because it's too much to, like for us to all unpack in one episode. So what is something that you want to see, and what is something that you're tired of seeing? And if you have an example of TV or film, share it. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'm tired of love. Like, I love love. Like, I am a hopeless romantic down to my core. Like, but I'm tired of this narrative that women, Black women specifically, they haven't achieved anything if they don't have someone, like if they don't have a mate or a husband, or in that sense. And I don't know if I'm feeling like that because I'm rewatching Girlfriends right now, and I'm like tired of Joan. Like, I'm just sick of her. And I'm like, as a kid, I loved Joan because I was like, oh my gosh, she has everything together. Like, she has a house, she has cool friends, she's dating different people. But now as an adult, I'm like, girl, is something always wrong with the person, and you want to control and you want to do X, Y, and Z. It's just
why is that her pain point? She can't be good until she got a man.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, dang, like she's 30. Yeah, so she's 30.
Yeah.
Starting out, she was 29. Yeah, starting out, she was like 29. And as she progresses, she's 30, and you're a junior partner at your firm. That is major. And I think that gets swept under the rug because she's on this quest to find a dude, like a guy, like to get married. So that's one thing. Like, I'm just tired of seeing and I feel like that all across the board, like television, film, music. I don't know. Like, when I'm talking to my goddaughter and my little cousins, like my little cousin is 12 and she stayed with me for about a month, right? And I was cooking, because obviously I had to feed her. So I was cooking and she was like, oh my gosh, Nikki, like when you get older, your husband and your kids are going to be so lucky. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're 12. Like, why is that even on your mind? But again, it's what you see on social media is what it's just
reinforced everywhere though.
Yeah, it's forced fed to us so much that we don't even realize it. So I have to I'm like, no, they'll be lucky to have like me. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Just that whole love element is what I'm tired of seeing. What I do like to see is like, again, that earthy, authentic. I love authentic characters like that are just different, that are either the black sheep of their family, or I don't know, just navigating life according to their own terms. Those are what I like to see on.
I love it. What about you, Garrett?
I was gonna go last.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, so I would love to see more sci-fi, duh, right? And I would love to see more. I had it. Oh, like superpower. I'm writing some stuff about superpower and about what really goes on, like code switching. So I've been working on that. So I would love to see more of that because I love sci-fi, I love science, and the psychologist in me, because I minored in psychology, I like human behavior. So that's what I want to see. What I'm tired of seeing, in terms of Black film and TV, I guess I would say I'm tired of seeing about drugs and um, poverty. We get it. Let's look. Can we get something else? So that's me. Now it's your turn, Gary.
Okay. I'll start with what I want to see. I would want to see more female comedic leads.
Hmm.
And I think that it's starting to come out more, but I want to see more of that. And then I'm being greedy because I'm gonna say something else that I want to see. I also want to see, again, staying with that achievement theme of women just going out there and going after it and being unapologetic about going after the things that they want, because I think that is a double standard for men and women, because men can just, they tell men that we can go out there and grab the bull by the horns and we can go after and we can go get whatever we want. But if a woman does it, it's just like, don't you need to slow down a bit? Don't you want to think about a family? Or, why do you have to do that? But I think that a woman can go after whatever she wants to go get. And then on the flip side of that, also have a family as well. I just think it's a delicate balancing act, but I would love to see something where it was pure, it was genuine, of someone going out there and not being nasty, but just having extreme ambition and doing it the right way, but also having a family as well, and balancing that aspect, because those are real hurdles that women face. And it would be good to see that, because I think that also would drive home to young women that it is possible and it is achievable, because sometimes they always say you have to choose one or the other. Are you going to be ambitious or you want to have a family? And I don't think that's fair, because you
Mm-hmm.
can have both and you should be able to have both. It's going to take some maneuvering in order for you to do it. What I'm
Mm.
tired of seeing, I can't really think of anything that I'm tired of seeing, I guess, because I watch a lot of trash reality television. So it probably would be just easing up off of the ratchery. And yes, I made up another word, the ratchery of it all. And I know it's usually produced, but I think that what it does for people that don't view it as I look at because told you I look at them as sitcoms.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that look at them as that's real life and that's acceptable behavior, you
Mhm.
just need to. I'm not saying for it to go away, but it just has its place and it just needs to be monitored more. But if one or two shows went away and took away from the ratchery, I think it wouldn't be too bad.
Would you watch though?
Oh yeah, I'm still gonna watch it. But
Really? I think the
yeah, I'm still
ratings
gonna.
will go down. People want to
It,
see the
it
ratchet.
would because like that's the whole purpose of reality television is, one, you need a storyline, and two, you want to come back for season two or whatever season that you're on. So but I think you can have pockets. Now it's just so over the top because people are doing and saying any and everything, and that's not real life, because with those characters that they're portraying, they're not going to get in trouble because that's in their contract. But
Mm,
in real life, you're liable to get popped in the mouth.
that's true. I mean,
It's true.
that's a whole nother topic about that. But yeah, I think we got off topic. I got off.
But it was a good conversation.
It was a good
Yeah.
conversation.
It was great. And I wanted to add to Black women. I like seeing, like, as a younger me, I was like, oh my gosh, they're so bougie. But now older me, I love the luxuriousness of like Black women wanting a life of luxury, or I'm talking like the Hillary Banks and
Jasmine Guy.
yeah, Jasmine Guy. Even though I can't stand Tony on Girlfriends, but even like she feels herself. She's like, I'm beautiful. I'm a Black Barbie doll. So
It's bougie because those are the anomalies in everything. If we were to see that all the time, it'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. It was like, oh, they just got money, and we would just like it would roll off of our backs.
But do we call white women bougie that are
No.
Exactly. So
and that's what I was saying. We call it bougie because it's not the standard. It's not something that we're seeing all the time. It's not reinforced all the time as far as Black women coming, well, just Black people in general, but Black women coming from money. So
yeah,
we gotta do better with that. What you say?
I was gonna say I definitely agree. Like, just changing my perspective. Like, adult me is like, yes, girl. Like, this is beautiful to see. Like,
but why don't you deserve it? And I think we need to see that reinforced. Like you said, like, because I'm all about self-care and self-love. I don't see that portrayed. We need to reinforce that it's okay. I'm tired. Mama's not going to cook, clean, and all that. It's a trophy wife if it's a white woman. And it's just a no good woman if she's Black. Like, why can't Black women be taken care of? Why can't we have a maid? Why can't we have, nice cars and the manicures and the pedicures? So we need to reinforce that because we deserve it and we're worth it, as well as our men. Gary, you want a pedicure? Nothing wrong with a pedicure.
Ain't nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a pedicure. I've had a manicure and a pedicure from time to time. So there's nothing wrong with it.
Manly man.
As they say, don't cheat yourself, treat yourself.
Exactly. And we need to see more of that. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm working on that myself in my personal life. So we can't beat ourselves up. There's only one us, So I love that. I guess next week we get to talk about the men. And that's I think that needs like 5 episodes because I'm gonna save it. But yeah, we need like 5. The deadbeat daddy, the cheating husband.
Oh yeah. the no good dark skinned man that treats his wife horribly.
And then the light skinned man that swoops in.
Right. The light skinned white shining knight.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do want to talk about, like, is it deeper? Like, how come all the safe men have the dad bods? Have y'all noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Shanique?
Yeah. It's like, why can't a over the top attractive man be shit? Like, he always ain't shit. Yeah. So it's like, again, you're telling women to compromise, like.
But it's because the people who wrote it, they're like, I am giving myself a chance writing this. I'm gonna make sure I get a wife. So like reinforcing different agendas, like we got to be hip to that because it's real. Well, I had fun.
Me too.
I did, as always.
Great conversation.
Yeah.
Now I gotta get my mind right for this debate.
For the what?
The presidential debate.
It's today?
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
Oh, well, let's get off then because I haven't even eaten. And oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, thank y'all. I'm so sorry that I'm late. Like I was.
No, you're not late. You just pushed it 30 minutes. It's not like we was having a conversation and then you popped in and was like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Exactly.